This is the 6th installment of the series, Social Media and Education. This is part 6, and it will discuss the strengths or benefits of using social media in an educational context. So the first strength I'm going to discuss is engagement. So here we're going to define engagement as the time and effort students invest in educational activities that are empirically linked to desired college outcomes, or secondary school outcomes as well. So primarily, using social media in the classroom will certainly increase enjoyment due to the sort of novel, creative, and informal learning environment that it creates. Certain case studies have found students to reflect on the use of social media in the classroom as something that makes the learning experience more fun and exciting, lighthearted even. Some researchers feel that social media is important for the informal nature of it as it relates more to students' lives and their personal identities. They feel that formal methods often alienate students as it becomes less and less relevant to younger people's lives and identities. Obviously, as I've discussed, younger people value social media and use it to a great degree, so there is a high level of relevancy to them there. As well, there's greater opportunity for self-directed learning. The flexible nature of social media allows for students to explore their interests and discover even what they're interested in an academic environment that can foster their professional trajectory. Thus, if students feel like they have more control over their learning, they're going to be more invested in it. Of course, because social media is inherently interactive, the use of it in the classroom increases the interactions between students and between the students and the instructor, and this can strengthen the students' engagement with the materials if the conversations are expanding. Finally, the personal spaces that students can create via social media creates a comfort level that allows students to freely reflect and express themselves. Also, being able to see other students' work helps them reflect on their own work. So, generally, increased reflection equals increased engagement. 2. Communication. Clearly, the use of social media introduces another mode of communication, and actually multiple modes depending on how many different tools you use. Also, it allows for you to communicate with students at all different hours of the day, on the weekends, during vacations, etc., etc. Even if it's not formal feedback, the constant communication allows students to feel at least that they're receiving some sort of feedback about their performance or that their work is being monitored at least. Also, since it's all done virtually, social media lowers some of the barriers to interaction that students might feel. So students who don't necessarily want to talk in class may feel comfortable talking via a blog. 3. Community. So using social media allows for greater social presence, which is basically the feeling that another person is there and real within a learning community and that people can or are connecting in a social and emotional way. So social media really facilitates that. In addition to the social presence, that also leads to a reduction in feelings of isolation. When students can share things in a public or semi-public nature, it exposes some common experiences, and that develops into a feeling of togetherness. Obviously, inherent to social media is the reliance on cooperation and communication, which also strengthens bonds between students and the instructor. And finally, when you have a series of profiles with profile pictures and students relating their thoughts or ideas in conjunction with those profile pictures, it's very easy to put names to faces. So this can help instructors get to know the students better and for students to get to know each other better, again, leading to the sense of community. 4. Collaboration. So firstly, when you work in a virtual environment, it allows for more flexibility in scheduling because it's not tied to a specific location, so students don't need to come up with a time that works for everyone to meet for a certain period of time, which, includes time to get there and time to discuss and then time to return home. So it just allows for more flexibility of diverse schedules and locations. So also working in the virtual environment allows students to upload pieces of the assignment they might be working on together, or even just communicate more efficiently via email or Twitter or any of the other platforms. And of course, the general increase in discussion and feedback can help students deepen their reflection on their work and challenge them to work a little harder. Finally, as previously mentioned, the virtual environment may reduce some barriers to interaction, and students might feel more comfortable sharing online than in the classroom. 5, personalization. So social media is very adaptive and flexible, which means that students can use them in a variety of different ways to increase their learning experience. And also the goal is to be able to develop their personal learning environment, which will stay intact after the course is over. Using social media also gives the instructor more access to students' thoughts and reactions to the course, which means as the instructor you can tailor your approach and provide extra support to those who might need it. 6, empowerment. So using social media, you're literally giving students their own space to explore course content, and specifically course content that excites them. So you're asking them to sort of take control over their personal learning environment and to manage their knowledge by creating, organizing, and sharing information. So you're giving them increased control over the direction of their learning. Additionally, when students produce work in a social media environment, it means that they're sharing their work with other students and potentially the public. And this can give them a sense that they have something that they can point to and say, I did that, that's mine, and give them a sense of achievement. 7, employability or transferable skills. Now, experts have identified skills such as self-direction, communication, collaboration, creativity, and technological proficiency as 21st century employability skills. And these are the very skills that are emphasized in the use of social media. So using social media in the classroom helps students develop these skills and be able to offer something more to their future employment. Basically, digital literacy at this point is a required skill. Using social media also provides students with documentation of their work. It might mean that students literally create an e-portfolio, or it might just mean that they have samples of their work or evidence of their intellectual abilities documented online. It also means that if done right, students will have reached out to different individuals in their professional community. So they'll have begun to create a network of contacts, and it prepares them for additional professional networking that might take place in person or virtually. Now, we know that students use social media a lot in their personal lives, but they might not know exactly how to use it in their professional or academic lives. So using social media in the classroom shows them how to use it in an appropriate way. It encourages them to reflect on what they share and learn how to behave in the academic or professional environment online. And that's it for the strengths.